Now, the basic requirement for eligibility to be designated a distinguished quality of life researcher shall be evidence of a lifetime and substantial contribution to quality of life research. This year, I am very honored to announce that the 2025 Distinguished Quality of Life Researcher Award recipient is Antonella Delle Fave. So first I'm going to read you her extensive list and then I'll say a few words. Throughout Antonella's professional and research journey, she has crossed borders of countries, cultures and academic disciplines, continually seeking understanding and connection. Along the way, Antonella has explored key psychological constructs such as flow, daily experience fluctuations, mental health and resilience in the face of adversity. She has employed diverse methodologies, experience sampling, rating scales, interviews and mixed methods to gather rich data and insights. Antonella's work has illuminated both individual and collective strengths, highlighting cultural and national perspectives on well-being, the contributions of traditional knowledge and the voices of often overlooked communities, including persons with disabilities and marginalized populations. In addition to Antonella's research, she has played a leading role in shaping the field through service in major scientific associations, including ENPP, IPA, SIP, and ISQOLS. Her scholarly impact extends through her roles as author, editor, editorial leader, notably the editor-in-chief of Journal of Happiness Studies, and director of the influential book series. Now, on a personal note, I've known Antonella for over 13 years. And I can honestly say Antonella is one of the most inspirational women I've ever had the honor of working alongside. When Antonella asked me over 13 years ago to join the Journal of Happiness Studies team, I didn't know my elbow from my knee, to be honest. But I could not have imagined the magnitude of the impact that Antonella would have in shaping my own leadership style 13 years down the track. I can honestly say, if I accomplish half of what you have accomplished with the same grace and resilience, I would consider myself blessed. Please help me to congratulate Antonella.
So thank you so much, Stephanie, for your words, and thank you for this amazing recognition that I am receiving today. Allow me to briefly summarize some people, and to mention some people I'm grateful to, because they have been with me throughout this long journey. I started studying well-being at the beginning of the 80s, when nobody spoke about well-being in Europe, and few people spoke about well-being in the United States. And this opportunity was given to me by my two mentors, Fausto Massimini at the University of Milano, and Mihai Csikszentmihalyi from the University of Chicago. Thanks to them, I could continue this way, and I could see how the field developed throughout the decades until now. In fact, I started over 10 years before ISQOLS was founded. I realized how old I am now. But I also would like to thank some lifelong companions. There could be many of them, but I just want to mention two of them. One is Marta Bassi, my colleague at the University of Milano, my first PhD student, and a friend. In the years, we have developed a very strong friendship with her. But also Marie Wissing from Northwest University, South Africa. Marie Wissing is one of the deepest thinkers in a broad, multicultural, systemic view of well-being. And I was really honored to meet her and to collaborate with her in several projects throughout the last 20 years. And I would like to thank Stephanie Russo, because her presence in the Journal of Happiness Studies, in a time where the journal was growing day after day, and the number of submissions were multiplying, and the amount of work was increasing unimaginably, Stephanie really represented a pillar of the journal and also an ally in this rewarding but also very challenging task. I also would like to thank people who have taught me a lot of things during the years. First of all, people from other populations which I met during my first research field studies, the Navajos in southwest of the United States, a small group of villages, people from a small group of villages in the hilly part of Nepal, and people from rural areas in India. From these people, I learned when I was quite young, still young, how it is important to decentralize our view of reality by listening to different worldviews, by understanding that worldviews can be harmoniously, can live together harmoniously, but they cannot be misunderstood as assimilable to other worldviews, namely, especially the Western worldview. And from these people, I also learned about the relevance of awareness and connectedness besides and beyond performance. And this led me to think about the meaning of a more balanced view of well-being and happiness, rather than maximization of well-being and happiness. But I also learned similar things from people with disabilities. I have been working for the last 20 years, 25 years, in the domain of health, and I met many people with disabilities, with chronic progressive disease. And what I have learned from these people, besides the fact that it is possible to achieve a good quality of life through resilience, through social support, through family connectedness, and through personal resources, they also taught me the value of patience, not to be in a hurry to achieve goals, but to take time and sometimes to make one step behind if we are not sure about what we are doing. And from all these people, I learned that we need to talk to people before developing theories, because sometimes theories are built in our labs. They are based on our worldviews, which are inevitably single-minded and biased. And this led me, not alone of course, with a group of colleagues to start asking people, what is happiness for you? And we found an interesting, we got an interesting outcome. The first paper was published in 2011 in Social Indicators Research, which is another important, relevant journal for ISQOLS. And we found that people across countries, regardless of their, of course, adult people, regardless of their occupation or age or gender, and also culture, they described happiness as harmony, inner harmony and balance, social harmony. And this aspect was completely neglected in well-being research. Nobody cared about the fact that to be happy could be synonymous of balance, inner peace, not necessarily optimization or maximization or any positive emotion or extraordinary achievement in life. So this was a revelation for us all, and I am pleased to notice that with time, the study of harmony has developed, at least in positive psychology. We have scales measuring harmony now. We have single items added, for example, to the World Happiness Report in 2022. And I think that this is a very important message for the future of well-being studies. We are talking about sustainability, and what we should always remember is that sustainability means reaching a harmonious way of living with ourselves, with our fellow humans, with the other living beings, and with nature as a whole. It's not anymore useful and meaningful to speak about maximization. It is important to speak about balance today. And the last thing I wanted to say, and maybe two things. One is an invitation for the future. Please consider that we are talking a lot about nature, connectedness with nature, and so on. But sometimes we see nature as the environment. We forget that we are nature. We are not disembodied brains. We are nature. We are part of nature. Nature is not around us. It's within us. It's us. And I think this awareness of the fact that our body belongs to nature, and that if exploiting nature, we are leading ourselves to destruction, we should develop new view of well-being for the future. Finally, I am aware that all of us who are here, and I have been grateful to my life for what I could do until today, but I also am aware that all of us are a very small elite of privileged people. People who were able to get a university degree, people who were free to choose what they wanted to become as professionals, as people, as researchers. And this awareness of our privilege should move our steps towards fighting and doing our best to make all people possible in our surrounding to be free to make choices, to be free to get adequate education, and to expand the number of individuals and communities who can enjoy a better quality of life. Thank you.